Hey, Andrea.
Yes, Sean.
You ever hear that old saying, comparison is the thief of joy?
No.
Well, it is an old saying, but it's also false because you know what the real thief of joy is?
I don't know.
Instagram.
I know, I relate to that very insanely.
Comparisons are just fine. So today we're going to compare what I think are two of my favorite budget guitars. I say budget because it's just sub $300, right? Two of my all-time favorites, the Donner DST-400 and the DST-152. Both of them are going to be on sale for Prime Day coming up. So thought it would be a good time to do a shootout between them. Donner has sponsored some videos of mine before, so I think it's like a cool thing to just talk about the differences between these and maybe some things that you might want to look for in an electric guitar. So I'm going to play the 152 at first. Donner, Drea. Drea's going to rock the 400.
Donner Drea.
Donner Drea. I'm just going to start calling you Donner.
Donner's going to rock.
I love it. Donner's going to rock the Drea 400. And then we're going to talk about what's going on. Before we get started, these are both HSS pickups.
What does that mean?
Right? Humbucker, single, single. Okay? So they both have coil split, coil tap. So that means this button, this knob right here, pulls out. And that makes the humbucker a single coil. When it's out, you push it. Push it with a little pizzazz. Give it like a slap. Spank that baby in there. And then it goes back to humbucker, right? So we're going to just jam a little bit. You're going to play some fire chords, and I'm going to play some lead over it. And I'm going to switch between some of the pickups, and then afterwards we're going to talk about what it is we're doing. Shall we? Dre, you ready to hit me with some fire chords? Both of us starting on the neck, and then I'll switch through some of the pickups?
Sure.
Let's do it. So I kind of went through a couple of the different variations that we got, right? Real quick, just, neck pickup. I'm always a neck pickup kind of guy. Bridge. Spicier, right?
Yes.
When I pop, it was out. So when I hit it, get a little volume, right? You lose volume when you go single coil. So it helps for lead a lot of the time. When I'm in the bridge, I usually want to maybe roll the tone back a little bit so it doesn't bite your ears as much.
Attack us.
Yeah, I'm trying not to attack. I'm trying to attack less in general.
Yeah, I really appreciate
You know what I mean? This is my attacking instincts get me into so much trouble out there in the world. But that's how we're celebrating Prime Day. Also on your channel we got a video with some ukuleles, right?
Yeah.
Carbon
buy one,
fiber.
get one.
Yeah, carbon fiber
$80
ukes.
for 2 ukes.
So it's buy one get one. I'll link you to her video on that because we knock it out over there too. That's a good way to protect yourself in an attack. Carbon fiber, indestructible. Know what I'm saying? This is basically the main difference. Body is going to be different. Poplar versus alder. Alder is traditional, what like Strats are kind of like made of. So that's why I gravitate more toward this one. The necks are both C-shaped. We have vintage style tuners, not locking tuners, vintage style tuners on each of these. And again, the pickup configuration is very similar. Now visually, what you'll notice is this has a covered pickup, right? And this is like the zebra style bridge pickup right there. Other than that, they are very similar. Now they're not really that big of a difference in price. Again, they're both sub $300 guitars, great budget guitars. Again, these are my two favorite of all the ones that Donner sent me, or even including other ones that other companies have sent me. So definitely worth checking out on these deals. Why don't we switch real quick? Because I want to talk about why this one is actually my favorite. Now the Alder's heavier, right? Do you feel Do you feel that?
That's heavier?
This one's heavier than that one, right?
I feel like I'm too strong. I can't even tell the difference.
You're pretty jacked. You know what I mean? I'm a weak man.
Yeah.
Working on my attacking tendencies, so it makes a big difference to me. You know, if I were to wield this, I feel like I'd have more bulk from that alderness, right?
Also, don't they have different necks too?
Yes.
We're gonna get
So
into that later.
they're both maple necks. This one has a rosewood fingerboard. This one has a maple fingerboard. So again, you might think that's just a color. Technically, any little detail that goes into a guitar is going to affect the tone of it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I can tell you the tone difference between a maple fingerboard and a rosewood fingerboard. Some people can tell you that they can. Most likely they're lying and they're trying to impress you.
Or maybe they really have great hearing.
Or maybe I'm just a hater.
Or maybe you just don't know what to listen for.
You know, that's true. I feel like it's kind of weird that you would take their side over mine in such a arbitrary thing. But again, there's something I do feel like this is actually funny, having two guitars that are very similar, one being poplar and one being alder. I think that the sustain actually does feel different to me, because I was always of the mind of like, well, for acoustic guitars that matters. For electric guitars, it's just the pickups, right? It's just a string, vibrating, pickups are picking it up. I really do feel like I can tell that this has a better tone and a sustain. And allegedly these are the same pickups and everything, so I think I feel like an idiot because I used to not think that the wood of a solid wood electric guitar really mattered that much. But I do like that.
Debunked.
Better on the 400. I also feel like the neck, even though they're both C profile necks, I do feel like this one is a little bit better. They're both from the Donner Seeker series. So I just kind of prefer this one. Now, even though you can have a neck that is still a C-shaped profile neck, it can still feel different between guitars, right? Also, the setup of the guitar is going to affect how you feel about that, all right? So even though they might be very similar spec-wise, they can differ setup-wise. Donner, for the price, they've always come pretty well set up. I have made adjustments to them in the past, which is something that actually Davidas came over and did for me to really make it sing. So that's something that you always want to be aware of, that you can always take a budget guitar and make it a lot better just with a good setup and fresh strings. These are still the original strings that both of these guitars came with. And again, I just think that the tone of the DST 400 is great. That sounds so good too though, right? Oh my gosh. Drea, my goodness. Should we do the same jam and then maybe people can kind of go back and forth between the earlier one and see if they can tell a difference? Let's do it.
Sure.
Hit 'em.
I think this one sounds good too.
I mean, they both sound great.
So cool.
Bridge. Split. Middle. So did you feel a difference between these guitars at all while you were playing the chords of it?
That's a good question. To me, I feel like the only difference I really feel is the neck feels different.
The neck does feel different, right?
I don't really know how best to describe it.
I do think sonically, hearing myself play both parts and then you play both guitars, the sonic difference is kind of negligible for sure, but it's hard to explain. But the way that you react and feel to the guitar is a little bit different. That's why I feel this one does have a little more sustain, that even if it doesn't translate through from the audio that you're hearing, I feel it in my hands a little bit more, which is why I just prefer the 400. And again, the color is a big thing too. You know?
That's true.
Again,
I feel like my thing. This actually comes in a cool color. It's like called ice blue,
yeah,
Arctic blue.
I think you're
or
getting that
something.
one, right?
Yeah, it's the one that I'm getting.
Yeah, so that's cool. And like people say like, yeah, color doesn't affect the tone, sure, but like it affects how you feel about a guitar and like how often you want to like maybe pick it up and like practice with it. So if it's something that you're visually attracted to, that's definitely a consideration. You know, don't let anybody tell you that like, oh, how it looks doesn't matter, because it 100% totally matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. So
Even
anyways,
guitars that don't play well, if they look pretty,
you'll make it work.
You're gonna make it work.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like
you're gonna make the connection that it's a good.
Exactly, and then you can get it set up.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, so anyways, both these guitars are sub $300. I have a coupon code listed. Again, thank you, Donna, for sponsoring this video and kind of talking about just like different things. Another thing, this one does have a tremolo where you can kind of like just like stick in the whammy bar. Which again, I'm not really a whammy player that often.
You're not?
But no, I don't really mess with it.
I feel like it would add so much to your playing.
Would it really? Huh. Interesting. Thank you for the tips. Anything else that I should add to my playing?
No.
No, that's it. That's the one thing missing is just more whammy. Love it. You're just a whammy girl. I use my fingers that. But you know, yeah, maybe I should. You know what? Here's my thing against the whammy bar. Like I feel like I just knock into it. I feel like it gets in. I'll knock things over with it. I can't lay it down. This is why I don't like things sticking out of things.
You know
what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Right? That's my hot take on whammy bars. But the tremolos, you know, bridges. Again, great for both of them. So, Drea, thank you for helping me with this video.
So yes, of course. For the people at home, the things you need to be mindful of are, you know, neck,
how it feels.
Yeah.
I do think having the humbucker single is the way to go when you're first starting out, because you're probably not going to know if you're a single coil guy or girl or a humbucker person right off the bat, so it's good to have both, or you can kind of switch between them, right?
Pro tip.
I started off being a famously single coil, and now I would say I'm probably more of a humbucker person. I know. Even though I love the neck,
You've
still.
completely shifted, Sean.
You know.
But I think it's a good way to get a feel for both, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know.
There's also tons of different colors. That's important.
And for not a lot of money too. That's the main thing. It's insane what you can get for under $300 nowadays. You know?
Yeah, it's not like how it was.
So comparison is indeed not the thief of joy. You know what? What's the opposite of thief? The
giver.
The giver of joy would be Andrea and her channel. So you should go check out the ukulele video that we posted the same day this came out. So do that, and then let us know what you think in the comment section. Hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, or the website. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.
Instagram.
Oh, dang, I forgot. I hate Instagram. Not Instagram.
Sean Daniel Music on Instagram.
Okay, yeah. I need to flex.
People need to follow you. That's what actually needs to happen.
Please, I'm desperate. I'm desperate for the attention. The thief of joy.